Okay, thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. I do hope that you can hear me. If you're having any technical problem, maybe you just please send us a chat. We're monitoring the chat. I'm very happy to introduce this webinar. It's something that we've been planning for a while, and we're grateful to God that we can actually have it today. I would start by introducing the Rehoboth Dream Solid Foundation, and then I would introduce our speaker for today. He's going to speak for 30 minutes, and then we'll take some questions after that. You already know what the topic of discussion for today is. It's a topic that I think is very relevant for the season that we're in, and we have themed it Personal Innovation, Creating a Sense of Urgency. I'll tell you a little bit about myself, and then a little bit about the Rehoboth Dream Solid Foundation. We don't have so much time, so I will just be very quick about it. I'm hosting this today on the platform of the Rehoboth Dream Solid Foundation. It's a foundation that my husband and I put together. We established in 2009 just to push our passion of being of helping the less privileged to go to school, basically give them something that will help them attain or achieve economic empowerment. The Rehoboth Dream Solid Foundation is managed today by 9 people, nine distinguished and well-accomplished people in their different realms of experience in the world, well-established people. If you go to our website, you see their profile. And most importantly, the 9 people are people that you can trust. They are people of integrity, people that have been tested, and we're all working together for one purpose. And like I said earlier, we got partners to work with us. My husband and I got partners to work with us. And the sole objective is to provide economic empowerment for the less privileged. So we do this in many ways. One of the ways we do this is to send people to school. We sponsor their academic education. We sponsor their education in school, their academic desires for people that we know cannot afford it. And then we also provide mentoring for young people, because sometimes the need is not just financial. So we provide mentoring, and then we provide a platform and opportunities for young people to acquire skills that can help them be more effective when they begin to work after school, once we've provided the platform for education for them. Now, Rehoboth has previously hosted workshops like this, face-to-face workshops. We started first of all in Lagos. We didn't host it, but we sponsored 13 people to a skills acquisition workshop, and it was run by and organized by an outfit. It's a human resource outfit called The Workplace. In 2015, we sent 13 people to that organization. And after that, we found that we could, if we organized it ourselves, we could send more people and sponsor more people to achieve the skills, the soft skills, and that we were trying to provide for our mentees. In 2016, we had 55 students attend the session in Ekiti. And last year, we had 2 sessions. We had in UNIBEN, the University of Benin, and we had 88 students in attendance, and then Federal University of Technology, Owerri, we had 60 students attend. And now everybody with the lockdown and the new style of living with COVID, the project team and the volunteers of Rehoboth Foundation said, why don't we have a webinar? And then we said, okay, we're going to have this first one, and we'll see, it will provide us an opportunity to reach out to many more people so that we can still provide the skills that we would normally have provided through the face-to-face sessions. Already I see that we have 44 participants on Zoom. I want to welcome everybody online. I'm sure most people are also watching us on Facebook. I want to encourage us to listen and carefully seek out from this 1-hour session tips that can help us manage ourselves better I looked at the topic and I said, oh, this is something that will help us stretch ourselves, challenge ourselves. What can I do better? And also how I can be a change agent in a rapidly changing world. Now, the guest speaker is going to teach us and take us through different modules that will make us get answers to these questions. We're all here on this webinar for one purpose: to improve ourselves, to learn. There are so many people, there are students around the call, there are business people around the call, there are employees, there are entrepreneurs, business owners, and there are people who are in government, people who are leaders around the call. I want to encourage everybody to have an open mind as we go on. The program is going to take 1 hour. Shouldn't take us more than 10 minutes for those preliminary introductions and all of that. And then the speaker will speak for 30 minutes, and then we'll have questions and answers for 15, and then we'll do a wrap-up. I think I have put everybody on mute, but if I haven't, kindly please put yourself on mute. Now it's my pleasure and a big honor to introduce Mr. Abraham Oni. Before I go and read the formal profile that I have for him, the formal bio, let me say that Mr. Oni is someone that I have listened to speak. And I must be honest with you, some of the talks that he's given, I requested for recording of the talks. And then in my own private moment, there are some that I have listened to at least 3 times, and I'm not exaggerating. I've heard him speak to people who are young. I've heard him speak to people, professionals, medical doctors, engineers, accountants, whatever their backgrounds are, the background is. I've heard him talk to them, irrespective of how many years experience they have. And they've all come out of those conversations, you know, feeling fulfilled and valuing the time that they spent listening to him. So quickly, I'm just gonna read the formal bio that I got from his organization. Mr. Abraham Oni is the principal consultant for Hebros Consulting, and he's based in the UK. Hebros Consulting is a technology and management consultancy consortium that provides clients with tailored and effective solutions to meet their challenges and build new capabilities. Mr. Abraham Oni is a versatile functional and management consultant with over 20 years experience. His experience covers financial services, public sector, oil and gas, real estate, logistics, and the health sector. So what that means is that he has consulted and he has offered solutions to all those sectors. He has an accounting background, but has since obtained professional qualifications in finance, project management, IT, and media. Like I said earlier, I'm sure those people around the call who know me know that I have over 30 years of experience, but when I listen to Mr. Ayo speak, I still go back and listen to the same talk over again so that I can have the points that he's sharing register in my mind and available for me to apply. We never stop learning. They say the person that stops learning is a dead person. And so no matter the experience or qualifications that you have around the call today, I want you to have an open mind and take as much as you can from this session. Mr. Oni, I do not take it for granted that you accepted to talk to us. I don't think we gave you up to 3 weeks notice and you were able to put together this session. Thank you very much. The floor is yours now. You have 30 minutes and we will monitor the comments and the questions as we go by.
Thank you.
Are you going to be sharing your screen? Do I need to put up your slide or you share from there? All right, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone. I hope you can all hear me and probably see me one way or the other as well. Thank you very much, Ma, since that's the organizers for this opportunity to be able to share from my experience and to be able to challenge all the participants to creating a better life for themselves. The topic this evening is personal innovation. And I'm believing that when we finish this engagement session, that everyone would have, in one way or the other, have a sense of urgency to be able to fulfill their life's purpose. I will speak to about 4 key concepts tonight. The first thing I will be talking about is around the concept of innovation. I will define what innovation is, talk a little bit about that. And I also want to speak to what complacency is, the status quo syndrome. Why do people remain in their comfort zones? Why don't they take initiatives to go beyond and above what they feel is their current capacity or capability? I will also speak to the process of creative and innovative thinking. How can you, as an individual or an organization, how can you deploy frameworks or processes or what you call systems that can allow you or enable you to be creative in your thinking? So that's my goal today. Wherever you can plug in, wherever you can benefit from this, I challenge you to not just listen, but after this session, make sure you're taking something tangible away that you can definitely work with. Okay, to the concept of innovation itself. When we speak about innovation, what quickly comes to your mind? From a definition perspective, innovation is a way of doing things in a new dimension, new idea, creative thoughts, new imagination, new concepts, new form or method of bringing something to life. That's what innovation is about. Innovation is viewed as a way to apply better solutions to meet new requirements, new way of living. You want to up your game. You want to optimize your processes. You want your business to perform better. As a student, you want to get higher grades. As a consultant, you want to get better clients. You want to grow your income from a 3 digits to a 6 digits. That's what innovation is. And one of the blockers to innovation really is what I called the syndrome of status quo, that we're not able to change, that we're not able to make progress, But innovation itself, the topic we're speaking to this evening, is about changing and improving what we do today. How do you generate and implement new ideas? What are the different ways you can do this? How can you deliver real value to yourself, to your business, to your community, to your nation? That's innovation. It's easy to always come up with new ideas, but the hard part is letting go what has worked for you in the previous years. Those ideas might be obsolete, but because they've worked for us, we often tend to hold on to them, and they become the hindrances for us to go to the next level, to achieve something new, to break through on a new level. Innovation itself has to do with action. It's not stagnant. It's something that moves from point A to point B. It's about a process. You have to do something to be innovative. There are systems and rules and logics and what you call methodologies, framework that has to be in place for you to be productive and to be innovative. That's the Oxford Dictionary definition there that says innovating. That means it's continuous. You don't just do it one day and you stop. It's something that you have to keep building on. It's not a one-time touch and go. You have to keep engineering it, making sure that you're bringing value, making sure that you're upping your game. Someone says that the antidote to life of mediocrity is a transformational self-leadership. And that's the concept of innovation. You have to keep moving forward. Look at the synonyms of innovation. Unconventional. You can't be conventional to be innovative. You have to break away from the norm. It's got to be transformational. That's innovation. You have to bring something new to the table. A new way of thinking is metamorphosis. It has to change from one form to another. A student, you've been reading and you're not getting good grades. You have to find a better way of doing things. As a business owner, you're not connecting with your clients. Maybe you're still serving flyers around. Everyone is moved online. Everyone is using Instagram and Facebook. You're still using the word of mouth. That's not working in this generation. So you have to transform. You have to make sure you remodel, you repackage how you present yourself, how you the outlook of your business. You have to change. These are some of the synonyms. You have to break away from tradition. You have to find new alternatives. One of the concepts in strategy is the blue ocean and the red ocean. It speaks to organizations or individuals that stays in the comfort zone. They don't want to innovate. And people then comes with new ideas and strategies. You see people coming with reduction in cost. They innovate, they put something new on, and then they take over the market. Look at the issue of Netflix. Everybody watch Netflix today. Netflix has captured the market from some of the big, video giants that we used to know because they innovated, they brought something new to the table. So that's the concept that we're speaking to today. And I just want you to make sure that you're following on us as we make progress. The other thing I also want to speak to is what blocks or prevents innovation. The chief of this is complacency. Complacency doesn't want to leave its comfort zone. It's a feeling of quiet displeasure of security. That's what complacency is. You just want to stay in your little corner. You just want to smuggle. Diggy Bagzel said something. He said the downfall of every civilization comes not from moral corruption of man, but rather from moral complacency of common men in high places. So complacency is a rot that ruptures the destiny of individuals, organization, a community, or a nation. Complacency will bring down anything that does not connect. John Maxwell, the popular leadership guru, says of all things a leader should fear, he said complacency adds the least of this. So if you are a leader, and as individuals, we are leaders. We are leading ourselves first before we lead our family, before we lead our organization, our schools, our institutions, before you lead, your office. So you must do everything to stay away from complacency. Complacency zaps energy. It takes away everything. It renders a superior almost an nonentity. So as we kind of progress in this discussion tonight, I want you to gauge where you are as an individual. Have you been staying in your comfort zone? Great. You build it up 3, 4, 5, 10 years ago, and you've kind of achieved a lot from your comfort zone. But let me sound you a warning. It's a beautiful place, but nothing grows there. Nothing grows in the comfort zone. The comfort zone concept or syndrome says, I'm just going to do enough to get by. Let me just do the minimum in my office. Let me just spend the smallest time, with my studies, making my life good, just the barest minimum to stop people from sacking me at work, from getting fired, just the barest minimum. That's the comfort zone mentality. It's a situation where you just feel safe. You just feel at ease. And this is what blocks innovation. That takes innovation away. So what I'm trying to get to tonight is to create a sense of urgency, to be able to change the situation and the circumstances that we live in, either as students, as workers, as fathers, as mothers. What's your comfort zone? What's your status quo? You can see that man on the boat. He's just there. He's not moving. He's just on the same spot. And that's the status quo syndrome. If you're in your status quo, you're not making progress. Life is just running past you. You're not making decisions. You're just sitting down with the familiar. You're just, cool with your environment. The situation just remains the same. That's the status quo. And that's the blocker for innovation. That's what prevents us from moving forward. With complacency, no matter what people say, if you are looking for how to innovate and become better, you've got to stand up and take a new approach to life. People who are in status quo, they don't fight for opportunities. They're just happy with waking up, eating, sleeping, They're not fighting for something new. They're not taking new territory. And that's the problem with status quo and complacency. You're not paying sufficient attention to things that are happening around you. Life is moving on. Imagine with COVID-19, everybody suddenly swept up onto the online platforms. If your organization, if your product is not online in the past 1, 2, 3 months, I wonder how those organizations will have survived. So how do I challenge the status quo? By one, identifying opportunities, new opportunities. That's how we challenge status quo. Do you have to research for it? Yeah. Do you have to go online? Yeah. Do you have to go into brainstorming sessions? Yes. Do you have to find people who are passionate about what you love doing? That's how you challenge status quo. You have to prioritize. In the project world, we have an acronym that says MOSCO. It simply means that you must do something now, must do, something you have to do, something you could do, something you wouldn't do. Another way of looking at it is, what is the rating of the opportunities that are coming your way? How are you putting value to the opportunities that are showing up in your life on a daily basis? You also have to look for people who are of similar vision, people who are passionate with the same thing that is driving you. You love football? Go to the stadium. Go to the football session. You love gym? Go to the gym. You love to build your body. You've got to find people with similar passion. You've got to build a mission statement for your life, a vision. A wise man said that a vision is the passionate picture of your future. That's what vision is all about. What you are passionate about that is in your future as a business owner. What's your value proposition? What are you bringing to the market that edges out your competitors? That's what you need to be focusing on. And you've got to perfect it. Have a mission statement that defines yourself. For example, if I go to meetings and they say, who are you? I say, look, I'm an author of an upcoming book on innovating chaos, because that's where I'm speaking to presently in my life. But a lot of us, we don't want to rock the boat. We just want to do just one thing. There is capacity in you to do more than one. If you're a person of faith, the Almighty Creator has put in you diverse gifts, diverse talents that you can make use of to be a better person. If you remain in your comfort zone, what happens? You become a dinosaur. Someone say, why dinosaurs? They are extinct. We don't see dinosaurs anymore, So if you don't keep adapting, if you don't keep changing, you'll become extinct. Either your idea, your organization, in your family life, in your relationship. If you don't keep finding new ways of doing things. In organizations, some people say, oh, don't rock the boat. If you want to make enemies, don't change anything here. Oh, it's too much trouble. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. That's how we've always behaved here. No. Become the change agent. Become the barrier breaker. Become that person that has a first class in your institution, in your faculty. Break out of the rut. Break out of the mold. People will ask you, has anybody tried that idea before? Be the first person. We've all heard the stories of Apple. You've heard the story of Microsoft. You've heard the story of Google. You've heard the story of Amazon. These are ordinary, simple people like yourself and myself. They chose to innovate. They chose to do something different with their life. And today, we are all beneficiaries of the change they brought to our world. So I'm challenging you as a student, start thinking, what is my gifting? What is that thing that I'm passionate about that I can take to the next level? If you refuse to change and innovate, you end up becoming like a dinosaur. What's your attitude to engaging with things on a daily basis? Do you procrastinate? When you're supposed to wake up in the morning, do you just snooze the clock? Oh, I'll wake up 1 hour later. I'll wake up 1 hour later. By the time you know, life is running past you. Pablo Picasso said, only put off until tomorrow what you're willing to die having left undone. That's the only thing you should push to tomorrow. You know, stop procrastinating. Stop pushing things away from, the place of urgency. If you have goals and procrastination, you have nothing. You said, oh, I'm going to become this. I'm going to try that out. I'm going to go to that place. I'm going to do something different. But you keep procrastination, you're not going to get anything. But if you have goals and you take action, you will have anything you want. Anything you want, you will get that. Time waits for no one, and life is moving by on a daily basis. Sometimes procrastination can be hard to overcome, but doing so is totally possible. You can be productive. I want you to say to yourself, I can be productive. I can be successful. I can beat deadlines. I will never procrastinate. That's the attitude of a change agent. That's the attitude of a champion. If you're struggling with procrastination, there is help, and it starts with you. How? Be accountable to someone. Get a mentor. Get a coach. Let someone watch over what you do. How do you create a sense of urgency? That's something else I think we should talk about. Urgency speaks to something that is of pressing importance. When anybody has a true sense of urgency, they think that the action they want to take is critical and that it needed to be done now, not tomorrow. That's what urgency speaks to. Now means that you're making progress now. You're not delaying it tomorrow, You're not doing something today and not trying it out tomorrow. You've got to be consistent. That's how to create urgency. You've got to have goals that are smart. That's how we overcome procrastination, status quo syndrome, complacency. Create something that is you're passionate about. Engage with something that draws out your energy, the creativity that is in you. Without a sense of urgency, this is what Jim Rohn says. every desire loses its value. It could be an organization. They will lose their value. You know? So I'm challenging you. Whatever opportunities comes your way, take advantage of it. Lazy people don't even cook their game. That's how bad it is, you know. They do all the rat race, they chase everything, then they put the game down. They don't cook it, and it rots. But when people have a true sense of urgency, they think that their action is critical and it needed to be served now. Don't come up with excuses, you know. Excuses are the tools which a person without a purpose engages, and it rots away their destiny. So I'm challenging you. Don't allow laziness to take away your creativity, your purpose, your passion. Laziness grows on people, you know, like fruit on a tree. It begins in cobwebs and it ends in iron chains. That's laziness. Sometimes you think you're sleeping and life is just running by you. So I want to challenge you, do something different. Make sure that you're engaging with the right attitude. Your attitude matters. Someone said your attitude will determine your altitude in life. Take a stand in life for something. You have to face the fact that sometimes not everybody will be on the same page as you, but you've got to stand for something, you know. I've learned in my experience that you often have to let go some things in life so that you can take a few steps forward. Every time you keep thinking about what has been, what has not been, life is going past you. So your attitude is important. It's your window to your world. It gives you new insight, new attitude. You've got to create momentum. And some of the things we are going to look at later on is going to speak to how do you engage with creative thinking? What are the tools that are available so that you can be creative? How can you develop smart goals and keep your momentum going? You know, without a clear vision, without an articulated vision, it's difficult to maintain your momentum. This is how you create urgency. So we're speaking to how you create urgency now. You've got to make sure that your vision are well defined. As a student, you want to come up with an A or a distinction, set that as your goal and work back to what you need to do to be able to achieve that. Living with a clear, defined purpose is important. Without it, life becomes dangerous. Nothing gives anybody inner wholeness or satisfaction without a distinct, clear picture of tomorrow. So I want to kind of challenge us. Don't be frustrated with life. A life without goal is frustrated, you know. But when you have your goal, you build momentum. You can walk with springs on your legs. You can march out of your house every day knowing that there's something out there that you want to engage. All of us know what a goal is. It's got to be observable. You've got to see it. Until your vision or your goal or your purpose becomes clear in your mind, you've not actually set a goal. You've got to be able to measure it. It's got to be result oriented. What are you looking for in life? Are you looking for, you know, a big organization? Are you looking for a wonderful family? Set the vision. Set the target. Spend more time with your family. In that way, your marriage won't break. Spend more time reading your book. As a consultant, I have to constantly engage with new technology. I have to keep learning to make sure that I am relevant. That's how you set your goal, your target. You have time frame. I still write certification back to back, you know, up until now, so that I can be relevant to my clients, so that I can take something forward. Goalpost of life will keep changing. It's the innovative people or person that takes advantage of those moving goalposts. Life is not going to wait for anybody. Set a goal that is holistic. What do I mean by a goal that is holistic? A goal that speaks to your spiritual life. Spirituality is important. You've got to believe in something. You've got to have faith in something. That keeps your momentum. You must have a goal that speaks to your career. This is called the wheel of life. A lot of coaches uses this to help us to articulate our vision, our purpose in life. You've got to have a social goal, a physical goal. You've got to take care of your body, exercise. You know, don't just eat all the big food, big portion of food, and you're not working them out. That could clog our veins, our arteries, and so you've got to have a goal that speaks to every area of life. You must have a financial goal as well. I want to teach us a tool that is out there. It's mainly used in the project world, but in my experience, this tool is also adaptable for either a personal innovation strategy, or you're starting off a new business, or even if your business is already in existence. And I'll show us what the tool is. It's called the VMOST. What's the VMOST? The VMOST is a strategic planning tool, and it helps you to narrow down or zero down on core areas that helps you to be creative, to be innovative, to stay on course, to stay urgent, to have a sense of accomplishment, and to be able to negate every distraction or what you call the blockers in projects, so that you can achieve your end goal, your outcome quickly. That's what the VMOST is. So the VMOST, the top part of the V is your vision. So that speaks to your vision as an individual. So you've got to have a vision. A vision is what you want to get to, what you want the future to look like. So you have to use a word that is in the future tense to kind of describe your vision. I want to become the best student. I want to become the one of the 540 company in the next 4 or 5 years. You've got to articulate it, and you've got to put your energy, your passion behind it. Your vision for the future has to be bigger than you. It has to be big, it has to be airy, it has to be audacious goal. You can't just go through life living for chicken, for burgers, for KFC. That's for babes. Life is more than that. Life is about impact. Life is about changing of destiny. So get a vision, a conscious, passionate picture of tomorrow. That's the vision. And that's what you want to get to as a student, as a consultant, as an organization. You've got to set something in the future that is bigger than now. Let's speak to the next one on the VMOST, mission. You have to be mission critical. If the vision is where you want to be, missions are the big blocks of change that gets you there. So you have your vision, but then you have to then define your mission. Organizations like Google, like Apple, they have mission statements that enables them to re-engineer themselves, to keep going on a daily basis. They want to bring the best value to customer. They want to bring, Google, for example, wants to become the place where you will find any information. They want to be the go-to place to be able to do research, to be able to engage. That's why they bought YouTube. So if you're searching for lyrics, you get it on Google. If it has to be video, then the content switches you to YouTube. And that's the target. So you've got to have a mission that speaks to your vision. In the military context, missions require a number of people. So you can't do it alone. You've got to look for a team. You've got to try and work with someone. A tree does not make a forest. That's the African proverb. You've got to find someone to partner with. You can't do it alone. Mission requires a team to be effective. Gone are the days of solo effort. Hello, it's gone. It's never going to come back again. You've got to connect, either online. You've got to find people with similar passion, similar outlook. You've got to find people that can compensate your skill set. You can't do it alone. I'm a functional consultant and a management consultant. I speak to the area of strategy and management. I've got people in our consultancy. They deal with the IT infrastructures. They are the service delivery manager. They head compliance. They head regulatory. We've reached out to organizations as far as Asia to adopt or leverage on their smart solutions. That's how you make your mission tick and bring value to yourself. So you've got to have a mission, define it, articulate it. I know we don't have a lot of time, but let me take you through some of these things. You've got to have clear objectives, key performance indicators that says, for example, we want to increase our sales by X amount of dollars or naira by May 30th. And then you set that as your key performance indicator to make sure that you can reach that. Have something that with which you can measure it. Every mission must have several objectives, not one. If you have one objective, life will be boring, man. You've got to have objectives, varied objectives. One of my words that I like using, people say it is a big word, is perspective capacity. The perspective of your capacity is got to be large. You've got to have a capacity that is big, and that speaks to your objective. Have many objectives that are measurable, that are smart, that allows you to monitor your vision, your goal, where you want to be, in the next couple of months or years or decade. Strategy. That's the S in VMO, strategy. Your strategy must also link back to your vision. How do I want to become better? Is the how. It's how you focus on new innovation. The point of strategy is to provide a starting point to generate ideas on how they may be achieved. Ideas are your tactics. What tactics are you adopting to reach more people? Do you want to use Facebook? Do you want to use Instagram? Do you want to use online marketing strategy? How will you be able to achieve the visions and the missions that you've written down, that you're working towards? Those are your strategies. The main point of strategy is provides you with a starting point, then you can move on from there. But you've got to have strategies. You've got to have tactics of how you want to become better. As a student, do you want to read for 2 hours? Do you want to read for 4 hours? How do you spread that out? How do you make that something that is consistent? As a business owner, your shop today is in a part of town where most of your clients don't come to. Then your strategy should be to relocate to where your target audience or the target market is. For example, if let's speak to Lagos. If you're a food or your restaurant owner, and the type of food that you sell, it's people in maybe Ikeja that loves it, but your shop, your outlet is in Victoria Island or in Lekki, for example. You've got to make the shift. Take your market to where they are. That's a strategy so that you can be closer to them. So you've got to have strategy, tactics that will help you to fulfill your vision. These are workshops that will run for a whole day to take people through the VMOS. But these are tools. They are available online. that you can download and use to refine your vision, to make sure that you're working towards something that is strategic. Okay, let me rush a bit for time. Innovation. Innovation. How do you become creative in your thinking? You need a strategy that will knock out any culture. Culture can be toxic. Culture can be how they've always done it. Culture might be, oh, this is how we do in my family. This is how we do in my country. This is how we kind of live out things. But that's preventing you from being innovative, from reaching your goal. So you have to adopt some creative tools to be able to innovate, to be able to quickly get through the blockers of creative thinking. You also have to be able to manage your time. And also, you have to be a person of your word. This is how you create value for yourself. This is how you stand out. This is how you become a change agent. For example, you know, people talk about the Peters, Atos, and the Waterman 7 framework, which some people call the McKinsey, the 7S McKinsey framework. These strategy tools helps you to bring together different parts to be able to achieve your outcome. Strategy is about how you and I will be able to attain our desirable end state, how you are able to shape that future, how you are able to outsmart your competitors, how you are able to edge them out. The aim is to help us to be able to become better, to be able to, you know, do something new. And there are so many strategy tools out there. You have the SWOT analysis, you have the Porter's value chain, you have the Blue Ocean strategy. There are so many of them that you can honestly just Google and find them online, and you can engage them, you know, to become better in how you are creative in your thinking. Creativity is finding ways to solve new problems, or a more efficient way to solve old problems. Innovators become the change agent. And how do I, as a person, innovate? How do I become personally better? I've got to first have an independent mentality, self-sufficient in my own mind. You know, a lot of people in the developing world, we just want to rely on people. We just want to keep asking people for things every time. You've got to be independent. I read a book by Lee Kuan Yew, From the Third World to the First. You know, this guy was the prime minister of Singapore, and he took that country from you know, nothing into a first world country. Today, as we speak, the GDP per capita of Singapore is $6,481 US, compared to Nigeria, where you have 2028. You know, this same man came to Nigeria in the 50s and the 60s, and he met our prime minister then, and the finance minister. And he said in his book, I'm quoting him, he said, after spending time with them, he said in his mind, these guys have a different rule of life. That was his conclusion. This was way back in the 1960s. So I'm saying to us, if we're going to be innovators and change agents, we've got to change our mentality. We have to build sustainable systems. We've got to be accountable. This is not just about the government. It's individuals. Be accountable. Be responsible. Let's begin to build and support institutions that work. A culture of maintenance. Look at our roads. Look at our society. We just do something and we move away from it. We've got to promote good governance. This is how we become innovators. We begin to engage things that are progressive. A shift in our mindset. Our belief system are to change. Let's move forward. Let's move forward. How do you stand out? How do you have a pace center mentality? Look at the butterfly. It changes from egg, it goes to the larvae, it goes to the pupa, and it goes to become the butterfly that we see. So to stand out, to become colorful, my attitude has to change. Stan Stoller, he said something about the power of your attitude. He said, believe it will all work out. You've got to choose hope. You've got to be hopeful. You can't just give up. Choose humility. You've got to choose humility. Be gratitude for the life that you have. That opens up your perspective to see more. You've got to be generous. Life is karma. You give and you get. Some people just want to take and take and take. You've got to give. Oh, I don't have money. Give time. Give time. Help someone. Choose to be compassionate. Don't just walk past. Be kind. Celebrate life. Choose joy. Choose joy instead of being sad. Try to see the better side of life. Choose to persevere. This is how we stand out. This is how we become creative. This is how we become urgent in our pursuit of things in life. Excuse me. Another tool to help us to become better. All these things are online, but it's engaging with them that matters. What are your strengths as an individual? What are your weaknesses? You know yourself better than anyone else. What are the opportunities that you see around yourself? And what are the threats that are there? So I want to show us, how do we engage a creative mind to take advantage of this? Number one, like we said before, a vision statement. What is the future state of my life? Where do I want to get to? Where do I want my company to get to? How are we going to help someone? How are we going to help a customer? How can I be better? That's the number one thing. You've got to have a vision statement. What are the essential themes that will support your vision statement? What can you do to enhance your life? Go and school more. Go back and get, if that's what is needed, go back and retrain yourself. Go and volunteer. Oh, I don't have a job. Go and volunteer. I met a man about 2 weeks ago. Fantastic man. He told me that for a whole year, he volunteered for 2 different organizations without pay to be able to learn the strategy and how they work. And once he got what he was looking for, he then applied in another place and said, do you know, for the past 12 years, I've been working for X and Y, X and Z. And then he used that to be able to climb onto the employment ladder. You've got to be creative. That's how you build teams around your vision. Number 3, how it shows up. How will the team show up in my life? The things I've decided. Okay, I want to become a PhD student. Oh, I want to become a startup owner. What should I be doing? Should I be studying more? Should I be researching more? Should I be listening to webinars online? Those things should show up in my life. That's what makes your vision to be concrete. You've got to look for support systems. Support could be your friends. Support could be anything that helps you to stand and not fall. Be accountable. Get someone to make sure that you're doing something you ought to be doing, to keep you on your toes. That's how life is. Challenge yourself. Challenges will come, If you make sure that when you are setting your goals, you also highlight, these are the type of challenges that my business is likely to face. As a student, maybe I will not have a pocket money. The school might be closed down for a period of time and all of that. You already know that in advance and you're beginning to work towards it. And then you begin to make bold steps. Bold steps towards your vision, towards your mission. Have values of integrity, values of honesty. These things matters. values that stands you out in the community. These are creative thinking tools that can help us to scale the hurdle of life. Stop gambling with your destiny. Stop gambling with your business. There are methodologies and approaches that you can engage to become better. Another creative tool. How can I define and understand a problem? With this tool, you can be creative, you can unscramble problems. Stick to the facts, not assumptions. On the top part there, it speaks to a state where you challenge, what's the state of the challenge or problem? So what's the problem I'm facing? Then what will be my ideal outcomes? What will be my acceptable outcomes? That's in that little grid that you have there. Then you begin to brainstorm the initial options and thoughts, like a brain dump, like a brainstorming session with your team, if you have a team. Then you begin to look at the boundaries. What will be the limitations? Those are the things you write up there. Then you begin to restate the challenge. If this happens, if that happens, how can that be changed? How can I move it around? For example, I want to build a house. If, for example, the cement factory shuts down, that's a problem. How will I be able to overcome that? Then you begin to look at how to manage your stock to make sure that it can deliver what you're looking to deliver. As a student, what will be the challenges for you to, graduating? You don't want to, if you're a girl, you don't want to be fooling around with boys. So you make up your mind in advance. I'm not going to be going to all sort of naughty places where, your life could be ruined. Those are precautions you could put in place, and that's creative thinking. This tool, we engage with our clients, and we help them to find solutions to problems in organization. And this is something that you can use. It's not just enough to Google solutions. You have to be creative in your thinking. Another creative tool is SMART goals. Everybody knows SMART goals, but how you bring the SMART goals to life is the direction SMART goal canvas. You write your goals down there, then you begin to look at the specifics, the measurable goals. You begin to look at how you would then attain that. Relevant. What I do as a person, I will paste some of these things in my room. Maybe I'm working towards a certification. I will paste them in my room. And then I know this is what I'm working towards. This is the first module. This is what I need to do to be able to, achieve this. So what I'm hoping that I can achieve with everyone this evening is that you leave this webinar and then you can begin to scale back and think, how can I have a shift in my mindset? How can I be personally innovative? How can I design systems that works? How can I engage strategies that beats my culture or my environment? How can I, as a person, become better? That's how you personally innovate. Creativity is not a privilege of a few. Creativity is what enables us to achieve the outcomes that we have said, either as individuals, as organization, or as a foundation. We have to engage these things and keep going over them time and again. And that's how we become productive. I want to pause here and take questions before we then kind of wrap up. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ayoni. I thank you so very much. I've learned so much, and I was just wondering how we were going to take in everything within 1 hour. But thank you for referring us to all the resources that are available online. And thank you to all the participants that have requested for the recording and the slides. Like I've answered online, we would have this recording on our YouTube channel, and we would be happy to share the slides with anyone by email. We have some questions online, Mr. Ayo. I have my own questions too, but I think we should take the ones that we have online first. Did you want to take a cup of water or something?
No, I'm okay.
You're okay now. Okay. I want to start with a question which I think is very, I know that the gentleman or lady would have asked this question genuinely from, from the depth of his or her heart. I have someone called Eshet Yenabasi, who says that he wants, let me assume he's he wants to be innovative and get new skills. And he's studying what he calls mechatronics. And he thought he should learn coding, use his lockdown time very well. So he thought he should learn coding, and he's actually learning how to code. He's in a coding class and he likes the program. But he says that for him to succeed with the program, he needs the laptop. And then his question is, I don't have a laptop. My parents don't have the money. What happens to being innovative without a laptop that is necessary for this innovation? I'll let you answer that, and then if I have any comment for that, I would, chip in.
Okay. So one of the things we said is that sometimes you want to be innovative, but you can't do it alone, and you need other people. So your end goal is you want to learn coding, and you want to add value to yourself. That's where he is today, but he doesn't seem to have one of the key resources. What I would say to him is this, right? How can you add value to someone very close to you that can then empower you to be able to get that? You see, life is about giving and taking. I mentioned a few minutes ago about someone who wanted to get into the investment in the investment world, and he had to go and volunteer for free. What value can he bring to the table to add to someone? If he can do that, he might be able to raise that money. There are giftings and talents in that young man or woman that he has, that he or she can bring to the table for him or her to be able to buy a laptop. So I'm saying that the laptop for now might be a hardware challenge, but it's not a showstopper. It's how it works around it and make sure that it can keep working on his vision. I'm not familiar with the Lagos terrain, or I don't know where he is from. There are cyber cafes. It might be to go and volunteer there, to go and help them, and then use that opportunity to learn. There are universities, libraries, which are public places that he or she might be able to register and engage, to be able to, So what I'm saying is that it's not a showstopper. You can add value to someone to be able to get or work around your current audience. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ayo. Thank you so very much. Listening to you earlier on, I think you did mention, you talked about attitude, and I heard you talk also about integrity. I think, like you said, you also said that one tree cannot make a forest. So if Mr. Eshet is able to show the genuinity behind his request, and like you said, if he's able to add value to some people around him, perhaps he could get a sponsor for this laptop. Thank you for that answer. I want to go quickly to the first question that was actually posted. And the gentleman has said, what should we do? What should be the first thing we should do when we come up with an innovative idea or a project? What should we do first?
Okay. What you should do first, if you have an idea, is that you don't just start running with it. Write it down. So one of the tools that we spoke to earlier on, I'm trying to see if I could find that tool to go back to it. So you have an idea and you want to bring that idea to life. write it down. Start researching about it. For example, you want to go into franchising for maybe a platform, or maybe property, maybe like we used to have the Airbnb. Don't just rush into it because everybody is doing Airbnb. Take time to do some research. You know, engage with people who are already doing that type of business. Then that gives you a lot more understanding. You can learn from their mistakes. That's what I would do in the first instance if an idea comes. So I wouldn't just run to go and implement it, run to the bank to start sourcing for loan. Do your homework. Then write a proposal, a plan, a business plan. It speaks to your strengths. It speaks to the weaknesses of the industry. You already know what you're going to encounter. You have financial projections that you're working towards. You know that, oh, that project is going to cost me maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 million. So you are not just starting with 50,000 and you are stuck there. You know, so this is what you need to do when you have an idea. Have a roadmap. By month 1, I want to achieve this. By month 2, I want to achieve that. If you find out that you have no skill set in certain area of your idea or dream, then you've got to reach out to someone, get a coach, look for someone online, you know, or around you. This helps you to make sure that you properly define your vision and you make sure that all the resources that is needed to make sure that your vision is achieved, you know, that it's in place before you launch out. Look at this, for example, the strategy tool. So do you have the right structure in place if it's an organization or your private life? Do you have a system, something that is, you know, that is a recurring process that you can leverage on? What style are you bringing on that is not already out there in the market? Something different. Do you need a staff to be able to run it? If it's a personal vision, how much time can you devote to it? What are the skill sets that you don't have? Do you need to learn them? What strategy or tactics do you want to bring in to be able to actualize your vision? So this is what I would do when I have an idea, rather than just start to implement it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ayo. We may not be able to take all the questions, but I want to assure the participants that we're going to send you, we're going to collate the questions and get responses to all of them. But we will try to answer as many questions as we can. There's a quick one, Ayo, that I think you can answer, you know, relatively quickly. I may be wrong. So Emmanuel Okon says, I am a student. Recently, I was scouted by a modeling agency, but I've been reluctant because I feel it's a distraction to my academics. Please, sir, is this complacency?
It depends on how you define it. It's not a yes and no answer. What's your end goal? What are you looking to become in the future? Modeling is not bad. There are models who are winning the world, who are influencing the world, who are thought leaders in their industry today. So that's not the issue. The issue is this going to conflict with your education? And you are the best person who can step back and look at this with the view of, you know, the future. So is it that you want to raise money for your education? That's why you want to do this particular modeling? Then you've got to, you know, find the balance of how you're going to study and how you're going to engage with your academics. So it's not a bad thing, no, but it's you making sure that you can manage your time management. Like I said, prioritization. What can be done now? What can be pushed to the future? That's how I will speak to that question.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ayo. Isaac Goluwaga says he's very grateful for the session. He says he's learned so much. And then he says, I have saved some money to begin a business, and I have thought of so many businesses that I can do in my area. But I have this problem of fear. I'm always afraid to put my savings, to put out my savings. How can I become innovative enough to overcome this fear? So there's innovation, there's business idea on one hand, and then there's this fear of losing his savings on the other hand.
Life is not without risk. Take risk. If you win, you will be happy. If you lose, you'll be wise. That's life. And if you also take into cognizance some of the things we've talked about tonight, don't just rush out to do things. Engage with creative tools. Understand the market you're going into. Do a bit of market research. That's how you mitigate your losses. That's how you put stoppers in place to make sure that you don't lose your money. But if you put that money in your house, inflation will take it over. You know, so life is never without risk. Life has an element of risk to it. But to cut down and mitigate, you've got to step out. You've got to do something. You've got the savings there. The value of that money is going down every day. So to multiply that money, you have to put it into a venture that is good, that is productive. So you've got to engage with some of the things that we've said this afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Indeed, you also taught us about the SWOT analysis that one can, use to make sure that you manage your risks very well. Like you said, the presentation and the slides will be available, and we are also available to continue to offer mentoring in any aspect that concerns any of the participants. One of the benefits of participating in this webinar is that you can then have someone mentor you and hold you free of charge under the platform of the Railbot Dream Solid Foundation. So if we have provided some answers this evening and it's not as detailed as you would want to the answers to be, or you still have further questions, please feel free to send us an email to railbotdream@gmail.com, and we will reach out to Mr. Ayo and other professional people who can support us, the foundation, for free by giving you the responses that will help you. Now, there's a gentleman that has asked two questions, Mr. Ayo. First, he said, what is the role of information in innovation? I think, I think the second one is what I want you to speak to more, if you need to take one out of the two questions. And he says, is it okay to consider competition in innovating? So I think, what is the place of competition when we are trying to be innovative?
Okay. Competition in innovation, it's not a showstopper. No. Let me speak to where you have the Blue Ocean strategy. With Blue Ocean and Red Ocean is the current market state where everybody is operating. So you have everybody selling their chores in a store, in the open market, people that are hawking on the street and all of that. That's let's call that the Red Ocean. But the Blue Ocean then are the people like Amazon, are the people like I've forgotten the online company in Nigeria. This organization are now innovative to take their products or the products of whoever is subscribed to their platform to buyers all across the globe, all across the nation. So it's not about the competitor, it's about how you are leveraging or taking advantage of what your competitor is not able to achieve to be able to achieve your own outcome. So one of the key things in business planning and analysis is market research and analysis. What you do is that you're looking at the strengths of your competitor, of your market, of your industry. Look at a particular trend. Maybe you find out that everybody is selling a BMW, and that's what everybody likes to ride. And now there's a new version of maybe Benz that is coming out, and it has better features. What you want to do is to be able to say, look at the features you are enjoying in this BMW, and look at the features in this, Mercedes, this kind of outscale what, enjoyment or benefit. So that's what you do. Competitors are not supposed to stop you from innovating. As a matter of fact, your competitor should be one of the things that keeps you on your toes from innovating. Look at the blockbuster video companies that we used to have. They refuse to innovate. That's why Netflix is taking over the market from them. So it's not just about the competitor, it's your perspective to how you can leverage on what is available in the market. And if you allow me to use that word, outdo your competition to be able to get your value. So it's not about the competitor, it's how you're taking advantage of, the gaps where they've not seen, and then you are moving into those new markets. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ayo. We have approximately 12 minutes more to try and tackle some questions, but I just want to give you a feedback, because it's always good to give a feedback when one has put in so much effort to put a presentation like this together. So we sent out invitations to people, and we have encouraged parents we told parents to encourage their undergraduate children and their mentees and the people around them to join this call. But we do have around this call some people who are also parents. And I can identify one of the participants of this program who is a senior magistrate with the Lagos State Judiciary. And she has said, thank you so very much. This enlightened me so much that my perspective as a public servant is actually changing. I am most obliged. And we're talking about someone who has over 25 years of experience. So just to say thank you again, Mr. Ayo, that you know that your efforts for this evening has not been wasted. Quickly, I'll take another question. And this, I want you to talk about this because it's part, we have organized this webinar under the mentoring session of what Rehoboth does. It's part of us mentoring the young ones so that they can come out also and impact the society positively. So Celestine Osiki says, thank you so much for the illuminating class. I have a question. I remember you mentioning the need for a mentor who can motivate. How does one choose a mentor, and what can one do to make oneself attractive as a mentee? So what should I look out for when I'm looking for a mentor, and how can I make myself an attractive mentee?
So it comes back to where do you want to get to in life? What are you looking to become? So if, for example, you want to become a pilot, and then you're making an insurance magnate your mentor, there is a misfit there. So the core thing is you don't just look for a coach or a mentor just by looking around. You've got to do your personal, kind of a personal work as well. You've got to work on yourself first to define your vision. Be a bit articulate about it. I mentor one or two people, and I've mentored them for quite a long time. And one of the key things is that I also see that these people, they have a similar passion to some of the things that I do or the things that I speak to. And that's what you want to look for in a mentor. Someone that has the experience, the skill set, the integrity to speak into your life, to challenge you in the areas you want to. So you can book a meeting with them. Once you've identified these qualities in their life, book a meeting with them. Tell them what you're aiming to achieve. And ask them if they will be willing to mentor you. That's how you reach out to mentors. I've had a mentor since my uni days. I've had a mentor since then. Believe you me, today, he still called me from Australia. He lives now in Australia with his family. And we still spoke for close to about 25 minutes, talking about how to reposition and take advantage of the post-COVID-19 era in what I do as a consultant and what he does in his own space as a legal practitioner. So what I'm saying in essence is that you've got to look out for the qualities in them first. You do your homework by being prepared. Don't just go to someone and say, oh, mentor me. No, what I'm saying is that take something today. This is my vision. This is my goal. This is what I'm aiming to achieve. Will you be able to help me? And that's how you source out a good coach. Quickly, number two, there's so many people out there. You see them on Facebook, on Instagram, on, everywhere today, calling themselves coaches. Some of them are good. They are fantastic. I have one or two. But it's the same thing. It's the value addition that you can get. And for some of us who are professionals, you've got to pay for your coaching. Don't just get the freebies. Some coaching sessions will go up to as much as about $250, £250. But the value you get out of those sessions, I'm writing a book today, and that book is going to be out end of July, all things being equal. The title of the book is Innovating Chaos. That's possible because I'm working with a mentor who is a New York bestseller. It's not free, it's not cheap, but I've opted to go that road because I'm looking for something that is outstanding. So that's my answer to that person. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think we can take two more questions and then we'll do a wrap up. I will, it's a commitment I've made. I will try and get answers to the questions we haven't been able to answer here. I would reach out to Mr. Ayo and we will provide responses to these questions for our followers online, or where we can, we will send you direct responses. There's a question that I think we need to address because quite some people around the call may be in that situation. It has to do with emotional support. There's no name, it's an anonymous question, but the person who asked it says, how do you counter the problem of lack of emotional support from your core support system in the event that they fall out with you due to your seemingly innovative idea? So we're looking at people who probably still need the support of their, the family or some guardian in some form, and then this passion or this innovative idea does not go down well with the family. That's what I don't know if that's what the gentleman is saying.
It's not a straightforward question to speak to. Some of these things are better engaged on a one-to-one session. But from my experience, the father's blessing, the parents' blessings, it's important. How we navigate if we have visions or, like the person said, innovative ideas that are contrary to what their belief system is. So I will speak from an African perspective. All our parents want us to be engineers, to be doctors, to be lawyers, and to be, pilots. And that's what our parents want us to become in Africa. And I don't blame them because this seems to be the only jobs that are be stable, where people can maybe make a living for their life. But that's the dinosaur syndrome, Life is changing. Life is changing. Things have moved online now. So number one, we have a responsibility as young millennials or the upcoming generation to first present education to our parents or whoever is that support system, to make sure that we can give them the type of information that is available to help them to make decisions or to appreciate the things that we're trying to do in the most respectful way and in a way where we'll be able to get a buy-in over time. Alternatively, why don't reach out to someone who might be a friend of the family or a friend of the support system and paint your picture passionately. And if you're a person of faith, prayer works. So these are things that you can engage, to bring to bear your innovative idea. But like I said, these are things that are handled more on a one-to-one. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ayo. That question was from Mr. Dewale Jolausho. I'm sure he will be very pleased with the response that you have given. The last question is a question asked by Felicia Oshiki. I'm so sorry if I'm not pronouncing the surname well. Pardon me. And she says, "Sir, I'm a student of University of Unilorin and I study social studies. I'm really good in teaching and I want to do more in my ambition, but I realize people bring me down because of my love for teaching. Sir, how can I do more and improve better than other teachers?" I'm happy that you're a Nigerian based in the UK, so you can combine the two backgrounds and answer this question. In Nigeria, they say a teacher's reward is in heaven.
A teacher's reward is in heaven, but they also have to pay their bills, Yeah, to the person that asked that question, teachers are the golden connectors of every young brain, young ideas to their destiny, from primary school to the colleges and to the universities, and they do great and amazing work. You need to speak to yourself and come back to the place of building your self-confidence. So I'm not speaking to the teaching for now. The thing I'm addressing is the place of your self-esteem, your confidence. You've got to build that. You've got to allow nobody to talk you out of your vision, of that which you are passionate about. So that's important. You've got to make sure that you own in on what you believe. That's one. Then how do you make yourself better? Innovation today in the world that we live in is online. It's online. Seek for information. Go after information. If your colleagues are spending 1 hour or 2 hours preparing for their course materials, you put in more effort. Bring more value to the class. Let your students come out of your lecture room or lecture theater and be able to say that that lecturer or that teacher is different. So you've got to go the extra mile. That's one. Number two, why don't you consider working with someone to start an online platform for teaching? Some of those things that you're teaching in class, repackage them in slides, voice over them, put them on Udemy. You will be amazed how much people you can reach beyond the confines of your community. So it's all about looking at the other side of the ocean. So you are in the red ocean now, you've got to start looking at the blue ocean. Add value to yourself. Start thinking of how can you, do better? What can you do more? Go back to the university. There are so many online universities today. You're teaching in probably a college today. Why don't you aspire to become a lecturer in the university? So this is how you edge them out and make yourself stand out as you continue to innovate. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ayo Oni. You have not disappointed in any bit. I want to thank you so much because you have been one of the volunteers and the supporters of the Rehoboth Dream Solid Foundation behind the scenes. You've been helping us. You've been giving of your skills, your talents, your time, in spite of how busy you are in the UK. We thank you so much for this. I think I would be doing the right thing if I tell you that on behalf of the current beneficiaries and past beneficiaries of the Rehoboth Dream Solid Foundation and all the other people around the call, I would be speaking for them if I say a very big thank you. Thank you so much for sparing the time, and thank you so much for doing this for free, because I know what you bill in pound sterling when you do things like this in the UK. But like you know it is good seed. You know the Rehoboth Dream Solid Foundation is fertile ground, and you know that you will reap well. If I can say it, in the name we believe in the name of Jesus. Thank you so much, Ayo. I am so proud of you. You haven't disappointed. This is our first webinar, and we are very grateful to God that we have had such an excellent kickoff. Thank you so much to all the participants, the 43 participants that have stayed back. We had about 60 people around the Zoom call at a point, and we had about 10 people on Facebook. Now we have 43 people around the call on Zoom. Apologies to our Muslim brothers. Some people commented that they had to go break their fast. It wasn't intentional to appear insensitive. We had a gentleman who joined us from Pakistan. I don't know if he's a business associate of the speaker. Thank you for joining in. Thank you to everybody. The recording will be available on our YouTube channel. Please stay connected to the Rehoboth Dream Solid Foundation. We have many people who have benefited from the Rehoboth Dream Solid Foundation who are now giving back. I'm sure a number of them are around the call. We have so many volunteers around the world. I think Leslie is on this call. I don't know if he's the one that is somewhere in America. We have another past beneficiary who benefited just from mentoring, not even financially. And he's the brain behind the Thinking Aloud magazine that we publish on a quarterly basis. Ben, if you're still around the call, we say thank you so much. Thank you to everybody. Thank you so much, and stay connected to us. If you feel led to support in any way, feel free. The details are available online. We say little drops, big changes, because you think you're giving 3,000, but you're helping somebody, you're changing a life. Thank you so much to all the participants. And on behalf of all the trustees of the foundation, I say thank you again to Mr. Ayo. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it, and thank you for having me.
Thank you.